Hello everyone, this is UC Campbell, and this is going to be UC Campbell's pay-per-view review for Over the Limit 2011. To go off and start, just to say what I thought initially starting, I thought this was an extremely boring pay-per-view. I did not think it came over well at all on TV. I don't know exactly how it came over on the live crowd. I just overall did not feel like it was anything special, and it just came across as an extremely boring thing. Now, there were a few things I actually liked about the pay-per-view. I'll go through a few of the things. I'll go through each match and how I actually thought of them. With R-Truth, honestly, I thought his promo was extremely well done at the beginning of the pay-per-view, and it was a nice way to start it. Also, the one thing I did like, I liked how he just came out to the Truth Can Set You Free, and then no music after that. I thought it was a nice touch. You haven't seen that done on TV for a while, and it just seemed fitting for R-Truth that he would come out to no music after he had been singing and dancing the entire time from up to that point. So that was a nice touch. Match itself was okay. It wasn't great. But it got across what it needed to be done, and that was get R-Truth over more as a heel, and honestly, I think they did a good job on that aspect. With the next match, you had the Wade Barrett and Ezekiel Jackson. I honestly, it ended in DQ, and honestly, for pay-per-views, I've never liked DQ finishes, so it was a pretty good match up until that point, but it wasn't, it had a DQ finish, and like I said, pay-per-views are just no place for DQ finishes. You had Sin Cara and Chavo Guerrero go out there. Honestly, like I said in the predictions, it was first time you've seen Chavo in the ring in an incredibly long time, and honestly, it showed, because the match itself, partially through him and partially through Sin Cara, it just seemed to be a bit botchy. It didn't come off well, and it felt like there were mistakes made throughout the match. The tag title match was nothing special. It was okay. It just kind of felt like it was there. And yeah, it just felt like that was there. It didn't even feel like anything was even fully built up into the pay-per-view. It didn't come off making Mason Ryan or anybody feel, or making any of them look better than when they were coming in. I don't think anybody made us look worse out of that, but it didn't feel like it had a purpose on the show. The Divas match, honestly, I was kind of shocked that you had no Karma coming out after the match was over with. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. It was an alright match. It wasn't, it went longer than what you would typically see on Raw for any of the Divas matches, so I guess that's something to be said. And it wasn't a poor match. It wasn't a bad match at all. Honestly, I will be one to go off and say, for back and forth action, the world title match was probably the best match on the card. Both Christian and Randy Orton did an extremely good job of selling the match and making it look like that Christian could pull this out. And I know most fans who went in there, at least in the internet fans area, knew Christian wasn't going to win this match. Honestly, and I felt that way too. But they made it just look like he could pull this out, and they did an extremely good job out of it. And honestly, it was an exciting match. It was fun to watch, and that was up until that point. The pay-per-view had been extremely boring. And that's when it felt like it turned a little bit, and it came off extremely well at that point. You had King and Cole. Finally, it had come to an end. King got his win. Cole looked like he was it looked like he was going to have to kiss King's foot, but King kept bringing out people to get a little bit of revenge out of it. He brought out Eve, and if people who have been following the storyline, she had been mostly the vocal point of the bashing that Cole has done of the Divas. So came out, performed a moonsault on Cole, got a little bit of revenge out of that. brought out JR next, poured barbecue sauce all over Michael Cole, and then it led into Cole looking like he was going to leave without having to kiss King's foot, and then Bret Hart came out. And honestly, if they didn't show the thing on Monday, there would have been no point of bringing Bret Hart out on that aspect. But because of what they showed Monday night with the original Kiss My Foot match with King and Bret Hart, it became it became very fitting for him coming out there, stopping Cole from running away, and put him back in the ring. Honestly, it was a quick match like it should have been. I like the bump that Cole took by destroying the coal mine. I actually like that. That was extremely well done. And the post area where everybody was getting revenge for what Cole had done up until that point was extremely well done. I thought the segment was entertaining. It wasn't great, but it was a very good segment in the show. Which brings to the final match, and the final thing I'm going to talk about, the Cena-Miz WWE title I Quit match. I'm going to go off and say on this aspect. The storytelling in the match itself was extremely well done. I liked everything that they had. They had Miz coming out there with Riley, announcing before the match fully got started that Riley was going to be helping him throughout the match, and the continuous beatdown of Cena during the match by the both of them was extremely well done. I liked all the aspects of Miz telling Cena what was coming next and that he should quit, with Cena of course not quitting in the aspect. I just felt like that was extremely well done. Even having Miz go over to the little kid to try to convince the little kid to tell Cena that he should quit was an extremely good storytelling match. With the unfortunately the full match in itself, I did not like. I did not like the aspect that Miz was in control the entire match, and then the final minute, Cena gets a belt, whips Miz up the rampway and everything like that, and eventually just leading to him locking in the STF and Miz quitting that way. I felt like Miz should have taken more of a beating throughout the match, and it came off making him look a lot weaker. I thought they could have made him come out looking strong, quitting, if he would have taken more of a beating before saying I quit. But instead, you get pretty much 20 minutes of Cena getting beat down, and then you got Miz getting hit around for about a minute and then quitting. So honestly, the storytelling throughout the match was extremely good. The match itself just kind of flopped with the way that they ended it. Overall, like I said before, the pay-per-view did not feel like it was anything special. It looked like it was just closing out everything that they had going from WrestleMania, which honestly I felt like they should have closed most of them out then. But it didn't feel like it was anything special. It didn't feel like it was really worth your money. And honestly, there were times where I was sitting there and almost wondering why I was watching the event. It came off, at least on TV, to come out boring. It looked like the crowd was into it, so that's always a good thing when you have the crowd into it, which might sway other people's opinions. My opinion was it wasn't a very good pay-per-view, and yeah, that's about all that I have for it. Not a very good pay-per-view with Over the Limit this year. This was UC Campbell's pay-per-view review. Thank you for watching.